Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our journey of cognitive mastery. Have you ever felt like you've hit a plateau in your learning? You study for hours, you memorize lists of words, you listen to podcasts, but you feel like you're not making progress. You start to wonder if you simply lack the talent, or if your brain isn't wired for languages. But here is the truth. The problem is not your intelligence. The problem is your method. Most of us were taught what to learn in school, but we were never taught how to learn. We were given the content, but not the architecture. This is where meta-learning comes in. Meta-learning is literally learning how to learn. It is the process of understanding the mechanics of your own brain to optimize the way you acquire new skills. In today's shadowing session, we will explore the architecture of high-speed learning. We will dive into neuroplasticity, the power of active recall, and the secrets of the world's fastest learners. Prepare your mind for an upgrade. Let us master the art of meta-learning. Part 1. The plasticity of the mind. The first and most important principle of meta-learning is neuroplasticity. For a long time, scientists believed that the adult brain was fixed, that once you reached a certain age, you couldn't grow new connections. We now know that this is completely false. Your brain is not a stone. It is like clay. Every time you learn something new, your neurons create a physical connection. This is called a synapse. When you practice a skill repeatedly, that connection becomes stronger, thicker, and faster. It's like carving a path through a dense forest. The first time you walk through, it's difficult and slow. But the more you walk that path, the clearer and easier it becomes. The key is desirable difficulty. If a task is too easy, your brain doesn't see a reason to change. If it's too hard, you give up. But when you push yourself just slightly beyond your comfort zone, you trigger the brain to release chemicals that signal the need for growth. To learn faster, you must embrace the struggle. The feeling of "this is hard" is actually the feeling of your brain physically changing. Part 2. The Feynman Technique and Active Recall. One of the biggest traps in learning is the illusion of competence. This happens when you read a book or watch a video and think, "Yes, I understand this." But understanding a concept is not the same as mastering it. To truly learn, you must move from passive input to active output. This is where the Feynman technique comes in. Named after the Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, the method is simple. Try to explain a complex concept to a 6-year-old. When you are forced to simplify a concept, you immediately discover the gaps in your own understanding. You realize where your knowledge is fuzzy and where it is clear. This is active recall. Instead of reading your notes over and over, which is a waste of time, you force your brain to retrieve the information from memory. Retrieval is the act of strengthening the synapse. Every time you struggle to remember a word or a rule, you are telling your brain, "This information is important. Do not let it go." Learning is not about putting information into your head. It is about practicing how to get it out. Part 3. Spaced repetition and the forgetting curve. The second enemy of learning is the forgetting curve. In the 19th century, Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered that we forget the vast majority of what we learn within 24 hours unless we actively review it. Most students try to fight this by cramming, studying for 10 hours straight before an exam. This is the least efficient way to learn. It creates short-term memory, which vanishes almost instantly. The solution is spaced repetition. Instead of studying a word 10 times in one day, you study it once today, once tomorrow, once in 3 days, and once in a week. By reviewing the information just as you are about to forget it, you reset the forgetting curve and push the knowledge deeper into your long-term memory. This is why shadowing is so effective. You aren't just repeating a sentence once. You are engaging with the rhythm, the sound, and the meaning across different sessions. You are building a permanent architecture of language in your mind, one spaced repetition at a time. Part 4. The Identity of the Lifelong Learner. The final piece of the architecture is not a technique, but an identity. There is a massive difference between saying, "I am trying to learn English," and saying, "I am a learner." When you identify as a learner, you stop seeing mistakes as failures and start seeing them as data. You realize that the plateau, that frustrating period where you feel you aren't improving, is actually where the most important work is happening. The plateau is where the brain consolidates its gains. A lifelong learner doesn't seek perfection, they seek progress. They understand that mastery is not a destination, but a continuous process of refinement. They are curious about everything, not because they have to be, but because they realize that the ability to learn is the ultimate competitive advantage in the modern world. As you practice your English today, remember that you are not just practicing a language, you are practicing the act of learning itself. Every sentence you shadow is a repetition of a mental habit. You are training your brain to be more plastic, more efficient, and more resilient. You are the architect of your own mind. We have reached the end of our session on meta-learning. I hope you now feel equipped with the tools to tackle not just English, but any skill you wish to acquire in your life. Remember, the most powerful tool you possess is your own curiosity. Don't be afraid of the struggle, don't fear the plateau, and never stop questioning how you can learn better. If this session gave you a new perspective on your growth, please leave a like and subscribe to our community of master learners. I would love to hear in the comments, what is one skill you've always wanted to learn but didn't know how to start? Thank you for your focus, your intellect, and your beautiful presence. Keep questioning, keep evolving, and I will see you in the next session. Goodbye.